Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and we've covered the Toyota RAV4 Prime many different times throughout the years since it first came out, and then we got it back, we did some extra fuel economy testing. We've had it for, I think, each model year now that it's been out, and now we're driving in 2023. But of all the cars on the market, why am I spending more time in this car that we've covered the normal hybrid, the normal just RAV4 in general, and the Prime? Why am I driving this again? Well, as you can see, I'm standing on top of a bit of a mountain here with the RAV4 Prime, and it kind of, I decided to start the video here because it embodies what I appreciate so much about the RAV4 Prime. It is, in my opinion, the most versatile and best single car solution that most people can have when factoring every single element in of new car buying, between reliability, price point, capability, usability, and general enjoyment. Now, that isn't to say that I think the RAV4 Prime is necessarily a great buy for everybody. I actually, given the price of this one, $52,000 as we're looking at it, I don't think it's a very good deal. But despite all of the reasons why you wouldn't buy the RAV4 Prime, I still really like it. And the reason I even came up here today is because I shot a video for Winding Road magazine, and I had to think of something to do different with the RAV4 Prime, because we've already covered it: day drives, night drives, highway, everything like that. So I was like, well, what about off-road? What if you wanted to take your RAV4 Prime in perfectly stock form? This is an XSE model. It's got just very traditional all-season tires, not all-terrains or anything like that. No extra ground clearance, no liftage. The sportiest thing it's got is some plastic cladding and then these roof rails that I admittedly have not used at all. But I wanted to see how it would tackle some pretty legitimate off-road terrain here. And I gotta say, I have been really impressed with how well it's done. You can see we've gotten it dusty, and we're gonna go back down the trail a little bit, and I'm gonna show you how we actually traversed some of these more intense climb sections here. And we're not aired down or anything like that. This is just showing you, if you want to include some trail exploring in your lifestyle with the RAV4 Prime, it absolutely can do it. The other reason I booked the RAV4 Prime is because my parents were in town this past week, and I wanted a car that I knew would be a good option for whatever we decided to do with our time in that week. I mean, live out here now in beautiful sunny Southern California, and the beauty of Southern California is also its versatility. It's the fact that you could go from the ocean to the mountains to the desert all in one day. You could be driving in stop and go traffic, and then you could be out here where there's not a soul in sight, all within the matter of a few hours. So I needed a vehicle that could do all of those things really well and carry 4 adults in comfort with all of our stuff. And I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on gas because gas prices are up well above $5, a lot of places over $6 a gallon now. So I wanted to be able to have some efficiency, have some comfort, some usability, and have something to talk about. So we're going to spend a little bit of time here showing you what this thing is capable with in a little bit of off-road, and then we're going to head out on the main road, wrap up my thoughts with the car. Now, we do have a trail mode button, and it doesn't do a whole heck of a lot, but theoretically it's going to give us a little bit of a better balance of traction control and off-road tuning for the four-wheel drive system, or I should say all-wheel drive system. We've only got 1 mile of EV range left. I used most of it coming up, but I saved a little bit for this video. And first things first, look at this section right here. I'm going to turn on our front-facing 360 camera. We're actually, right now, we've got 2 tires off the ground. I can actually shake the car, and if I go a little bit further forward right here, a little bit more, all of a sudden the car tips forward, and now we've got a different tire off the ground. Oh, there we go. I mean, this is true, proper articulation. And the RAV4 is doing it. Mind you, we're going down. So, what do you think? You think we can go back up? Oh, look at that. You think we can go back up? Oh, man, that was hard, but I don't think we hit anything. Let's see if we can go back up. I don't think we're going to have enough traction to make it up this. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And that's okay. I mean, that's asking a lot of this car, but, you know, let's just see how far we get. And we're doing it all on EV. It's been so nice and peaceful. All right, we're getting maximum spinach over there now. I don't think we're making it back up here. All right, but that was obviously just to see what you know, we're really pushing the limits now. A lot of vehicles would not be able to handle that, but it's not like we had to go up this section just in order to go up this general mountain trail. But obviously there's some other sections that the RAV4 is still able to do that are pretty darn steep, but look at this. I mean, that's a lot right there for a car that is not any sort of special off-road or adventure trim or anything like that. And the other beauty of the RAV4 is that when you're doing stuff like this, even without any sort of off-road suspension or anything like that, it's well put together in here. No creaks, rattles, anything like that. I mean, we're going over some rough stuff here, and it's taking it remarkably well. And the ability to have done so much of this driving in just electric-only mode, having it be so quiet and peaceful and yet still powerful enough to climb up this trail, something pretty unique to this vehicle. Back out here on the main roads, and of course the RAV4 Prime continues to shine. We spent nearly all day in the vehicle a few days ago, driving from Orange County, California, up the coast into LA, around and navigating through some of the city streets, and kind of did the classic tourist, Hollywood, Griffith Observatory, everything like that. And this was such a good partner for that trip. All four of us were comfortable in it. There was spots to put water bottles in the doors and in the center area here. I had my phone charging on the wireless charger, and it actually worked, unlike the Toyota Tacoma that we had before that, where the wireless charger did not work properly. Visibility was good for everybody. They had heated seats in the back there for when we kind of got back in the car after being near the coast and it was a little chilly. They were able to warm themselves up. And then later on in the day, when it was a little warmer out, Alyssa was able to have the cooled seat on up here in the front. We had this panoramic sunroof open going through some of the city areas and some of the nature areas for them to see around, and then closed it when we wanted to keep the sun out a little. Something you cannot do in something like the Tesla. Come on, Tesla, give us a sunshade. Even down to things like this little side cubby compartment here and this one in front of the passenger, they came in handy for me being able to put my little toll module and the garage door opener. The new touchscreen here for 2023 model year gave us good visibility for the map. You can see here I've got my Google Maps coming up in Android Auto, and that made it so I could navigate around pretty darn easily. So the RAV4 Prime is such a nice balance between having the tech and the features that you want for day-to-day driving, and for maybe even not day-to-day, more like special event sort of driving. But then again, it's not so far forward that it's inconvenient or difficult to use or learn or anything like that. It's still straightforward enough. I mean, we've got nice physical dual zone climate control here with vents in the back and power points in the back. That was nice to have. Nice big easy shifter to use. Good touchscreen infotainment system. A pretty passable JBL sound system for when we want to have some music on a little bit. Things like this camera rear view mirror. So there's so much that I like about the RAV4 Prime as a daily sort of vehicle. That all being said, the price does make it harder to recommend for a lot of people. And it's not even just the price objectively speaking, because everything costs a lot of money these days. I mean, buying a new car is a luxury and it's a privilege, and obviously it's going to cost money. The problem comes down to the fact that Toyota also makes the normal RAV4 hybrid, which gets the same engine, similar powertrain, and is not quite as fast, is not as smooth, and yes, you can't plug it in at home and charge up and drive up to 40 miles or so on electric only. However, it costs about $8,000 to $9,000 less model to model to get the normal hybrid. So when you're looking at this, about $52,000, but you can have a fully loaded to the gills hybrid limited for about $45,000 or so. It is harder for me to recommend the plug-in hybrid if you're not getting some sort of incentive. Now, yeah, obviously if you live in a state where you could get a few $1,000s back for having a plug-in hybrid vehicle, or maybe you can do something like take the HOV lanes, or maybe you have solar charging at home and you can drive your vehicle essentially for free, or maybe charging at work. All of those are great reasons to go for the plug-in hybrid. And the plug-in hybrid is more enjoyable to drive on a daily basis. It's got more power, it's very, very smooth, it's quiet, it's built well. But if you're in a situation where you're just going to be paying full MSRP for either and just charging it at home and paying the electric rates versus the gasoline rates, it's a hard justification. I really appreciate that Toyota still gives us the options. You can have a full gas, you can have a normal hybrid or a plug-in hybrid for the RAV4, because it's a great model. It really is. It's been so well refined here over the years. It's going to last you so long, pretty much as long as you're going to want it to if you maintain it properly. But the Prime isn't the perfect option for everybody. I'm just spoiled enough to get to request one periodically and spend time in it, because I really do like the ability to drive it around day to day on electric only, and then when I need to, like right now, I've run it more than the 40 miles or so today, coming down and using it as a hybrid. I've said this in previous RAV4 videos as well. In fact, we did a RAV4 Prime comparison with our old Tesla Model Y. If you're somebody who has more than one vehicle in the house, then you might want to consider just going full electric as well. I mean, Toyota has an electric option, but there are a lot of other electric options from other manufacturers also that actually cost less than this RAV4 Prime and can get you really good DC fast charging rates. They can get you a lot of range. And if you're somebody like my wife Alyssa, who drives the secondary car in the household, if you will, she drives her electric Bolt maybe 30 miles a day on average, and occasionally maybe up to 50 or 60 miles in a day. So for her, the fact that her Bolt doesn't really have very fast charging and only has about 250 miles of range has been a non-issue for us. But that is because we have access to other vehicles, whereas if we only had one car in the household, there's a better chance we'd go for a plug-in hybrid like this RAV4 Prime over a fully electric option. And I said the same thing about the Prius Prime as well. I mean, the Prius Prime is great to drive. I love being able to plug it in and do so much driving on electric only. But for that car, even more so than this RAV4, the plug-in hybrid doesn't really make sense to pay more for, because you're sipping such a little amount of fuel in your daily driving anyway. At least with the RAV4 Prime, it's not quite as efficient of a vehicle on gas, so if you can do more of that on electricity and you're getting more of that regen aspect, that's more of an argument to go toward the plug-in. But if you have the means, and if maybe you find yourself an SE Prime, for example, it can be maybe a little bit more reasonably priced, and you find yourself one in a dealer lot or something like that, there are few cars on the market that do as much well as the RAV4 Prime. This thing is as quiet and comfortable inside as some luxury vehicles. They've got all the features you're going to want, the 360 camera, all the safety gear, heated and ventilated seats. That's all fantastic. And then from the powertrain, I mean, you can charge it at home, you can drive an electric vehicle, you can do off-roading, as you see. You can kind of turn it into whatever you need to. So find yourself one, maybe sign up for some financing, and yeah, you're going to have a car that's going to fill a lot of needs for a long period of time. So thank you all so much for watching. Look at how dusty we got this thing. If you want to see more on the RAV4 Prime, check the link below. We've got a lot of coverage of it. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.